August 7th was the start of the closed beta for Battlefield 6. I've been playing it a lot, and I have to say I'm impressed. As someone who's been playing Battlefield for almost 15 years, I believe this game has the potential to stack up with some of the greatest games in the franchise. I don't want to get ahead of myself before it actually releases, but this is that classic Battlefield formula that we've all been waiting for. Now that we get to try it out for ourselves, let's look at some of the main gameplay elements and see how it actually feels. First things first, let's look at the gunplay. This is the main way that we'll interact with the game, so they have to get it right. The good thing is, most of the weapons in the game feel just right, and they properly fit the role that they're meant to. The SMGs and shotguns decimate up close, the snipers are deadly accurate, the LMGs are punchy, and the ARs are a perfect middle ground for every situation. They nailed it, and to be honest, I always felt confident that the gunplay would be solid. DICE has a great track record of making the gunplay rewarding across all the options in the game, even in less popular titles. The first thing I noticed when I was playing was that weapons across the board didn't have very much recoil. This makes sense, Battlefield is a more casual shooter, but this also works with the longer range engagements so that we can easily stay on target. I always enjoy lower recoil, it really frees you up to flex your aim and other mechanics without having to worry about pulling down so hard. Even with low recoil, I wouldn't advise just mag dumping your entire clip when you see an enemy. This is because of the weapon bloom. It's not ridiculous like Fortnite, but the bloom is just large enough to dissuade us from letting loose our whole clip. This means we should try and lean on burst firing so that we can keep our accuracy high. I personally don't like bloom at all in games. I feel like I'm not getting rewarded even if I aim properly. Even so, it's not terrible at close range, but as soon as the map stretches out, just keep it in mind and be aware of it. The weapon damage is pretty good for most guns when you use them in their intended ranges. Everyone's around a 4 to 5 shot kill, maybe less if you mix in a headshot. You'll notice a drop off for ARs and SMGs at longer range though, so keep that in mind. In general, the high damage combined with low recoil means that killing your enemy is actually pretty quick, maybe a bit faster than other Battlefield games, but you aren't getting one-tapped by automatic guns. This gives you a bit more time to react when you get caught out, but you still want to be the aggressor and get the first shot. Speaking of reacting, the ADS time is fast, and it's even pretty quick when you use it out of sprint as well. This leads to gameplay where players can stay mobile with their gun down and snap their sights up once the enemy appears. This is in contrast to games like Rainbow Six, where you have to ADS before a fight if you want a chance to win. BF6 isn't a game where you'll take it slow and peel every corner. You're gonna be beat by someone who's playing much more aggressive, so take advantage of the gunplay and get aggressive yourself. All of these factors, the low recoil, fast time to kill, and quick animations mean that this game is very fast paced. You don't want to wait around, get aggressive, get the first shot off, and stay alert for players swinging around the corner. Real quick, if you are enjoying the Battlefield content, please like and subscribe, it really helps me out. Thanks. Along with the quick gunplay, something else that contributes to this fast pace is the movement. The game gives you so many movement options, and it integrates into the gunplay very well. You're extremely fast when you sprint, and you can quickly chain this together with jumping, crouching, or anything else to stay elusive. One of my favorite ways to use the movement right now is sprint jumping around the corner. You're just so fast that it's extremely hard to react to. Just like other Battlefield games, sprinting and movements are another tool in your kit. Since movement's so strong in this game, I often feel that rather than diving into cover, you should use your movement to evade your enemy's first shots with some sprint and direction switching, and then engage them once you broke their aim. I've also had many situations where I get caught out against multiple targets, but I've been able to slip away using the movement. It can really get you out of a bind, so if you feel like you aren't winning that gunfight, back off and live to see the next one. Crouching is also very quick in this game. I've used it to duck under enemy fire to win gunfights. It also allows you to pop in and out of cover quite fast, so you can really take advantage of all the different angles and keep your enemies guessing. Between your crouch and your sprint, you should focus on quickly moving cover to cover, minimizing your exposure, and giving yourself the advantage while shooting. DICE added another layer to crouching as well with the brand new movement option, crouch sprinting. This is seen in plenty of other games like PUBG and Hell Let Loose. Crouch sprinting is great for following low cover or ducking under windows while still moving fast. A great blend of stealth and speed, perfect for flanking. The beta's maps don't really have amazing places to show this off, but based on my experience in other games, This will be great on large maps with hill ridge cover and long stretches of low walls. Another one of the new movement actions in BF6 is sliding. It's not crazy far like Apex, but it does give you enough to play around with. It can be used as sort of a dodge, allowing you to duck away into cover. It's also great to disrupt your enemy's aim and give you an opening to retaliate. This is a great addition. I think it integrates into the battlefield movement very well. Overall, the movement feels great. It's going to allow us to quickly pop in and out of engagements, and it blends really well with the low time to kill. We get a few new options to play around with, and it's super quick and snappy, so that's all good in my book. Alright, so the next thing I want to talk about is the maps, and this is really important because 2042's maps left a lot to be desired, so we know Battlefield 6 needs to offer better locations in comparison. We learned that 9 maps will be launching from the game, one of which will be Operation Firestorm from BF3 and 4, which I am very excited about. In the first round of the beta, there are only 3 maps: Siege of Cairo, Liberation Peak, and Iberian Offensive, with Empire State being added next weekend. So, are the maps any good? I would say yes, mostly. You will notice that some of the maps that we have access to are not typically what you would think of for Battlefield. Siege of Cairo and Iberian Offensive are very infantry-focused maps, with only a few land vehicles like tanks and APCs. Iberian Offensive seems to be purpose-made for the close quarters game modes like TDM and Domination. There are layers of houses and buildings overlapping each other, with courtyards and streets scattered without. The destruction is really cool on this map, as new paths and movement opportunities are created with each broken wall and toppled structure. Siege of Cairo is a bit more spread out, with winding streets and marketplaces interspersed with larger areas for vehicle combat. Cairo seems very similar to Grand Bazaar from Battlefield 3, with us fighting between the buildings while vehicles patrol the perimeter. These maps are both smaller than what Battlefield usually has on offer, but they are extremely detailed and have many more passageways and enterable buildings than maps in the past. This also means that they're very focused on close quarters combat. I have to imagine DICE picked these maps to give us for plenty of reps with the gunplay, stress testing the game, and showcasing some of that next generation destruction. I think both of these maps are good. I really like how detailed they are and how many different paths you can take, but sometimes they can be quite claustrophobic, especially on Breakthrough. But that's part of Battlefield. Everyone remembers Operation Metro, so this really isn't a huge deviation from previous games. Even so, these maps really squeeze you into tight situations and force multi-squad gunfights in a single objective, leading to you dying to someone you weren't even looking at a lot of the time. But, as always, we will figure out ways to navigate the maps without exposing ourselves too much in the future. I do get glimpses of that Battlefield magic on these maps, and I haven't played them enough to properly rate them yet, but they did leave me wanting a little bit more. The other map we get to play is Liberation Peak, and this is what I was most excited to try. In all the multiplayer reveal footage, this seemed like the map closest to what classic Battlefield is all about, and the first impressions are pretty good. I mean, to start, this map is beautiful, and it's much larger and more open than the other two. This allows the vehicles some room to breathe, and we also get some longer range infantry combat. Each objective has a collection of buildings for the infantry to fight between. There are plenty of large open areas and roads for vehicles to traverse, and in between there are covered areas for the infantry to skirmish and keep moving in between the objective points. This isn't the kind of map where you're going to see the entire thing sprawled out in front of you, something like Goal Mud Railway. It's more layered and segmented into individual fighting areas, so everything isn't as exposed. Even still, there are plenty of opportunities for longer range gunfights, and it's definitely a sniper's haven with all the rocks and cliffs to hide in. In addition to the ground vehicles, we also get access to our jets and helis. They get a huge skybox to play around in too. I'm not huge on air vehicle combat myself, it was never really my thing in previous games, but it does look really good in Battlefield 6, and I might have to give it a go and practice when the game comes out. From what I've seen, there's a nice interplay between the air vehicles, AA ground vehicles, and infantry, so it looks fun, and that's par for the course. This map definitely scratched the Battlefield itch. We really get to see a good mix of infantry, ground, and air vehicles, and I hope we get more maps like this in the full release. So, after getting to experience everything myself for the first time, what do I think? I think this game got a lot of things right. The most important one, Gunplay, is solid. The movement is fast, it has lots of variations and really supports the engagements well, and the maps are beautiful and play well, even if they are a bit more infantry focused than games in the past. Overall, I think Battlefield 6 could be a great addition to the franchise, and I'm cautiously optimistic that DICE will actually deliver a fun experience on release this time. I will be posting more gameplay this week from the beta, and I have another video planned focused solely on the class system, so stay tuned for more Battlefield news. For those of you who watch me for Rainbow Six content, don't worry, I have a new R6 tip video in the works as well, and I should be posting it shortly after the Battlefield betas wrap up. Alright guys, that's all from me. Let me know what you think of the beta and if you've enjoyed playing it so far. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and I'll see ya.